Normandy, June 9th, 1944. Through the gunner's periscope, Merrick Callahan sees the Panther, 400 yards across a wheat field that will never see harvest. The German tank's 75mm gun swivels, searching. Rick's hands shake on the 17-pounder's traverse wheel. 21 years old, farm boy from Iowa, absolutely terrified. Sergeant William Ashford's voice cuts through the intercom, British accent, calm as Sunday morning. Steady, Callahan. Breathe. Rick's finger hovers over the firing mechanism. The Panther stops traversing. Its gun points directly at them. And suddenly Rick isn't in Normandy at all. 18 months earlier, December 1942, snow falling soft across Iowa farmland. Rick is feeding cattle when his mother screams. He runs. The Western Union telegram is 17 words that end everything. The Secretary of War desires me to express his deep regret that your son, Private Thomas Callahan, was killed in action, 14th February, Tunisia. Stop. Thomas, Rick's older brother, 23, 1st Armored Division, dead on Valentine's Day. Rick's mother collapses. His father stands frozen, jaw clenched so tight, Rick hears teeth grinding. The details arrive 3 weeks later. Letter from Thomas's platoon sergeant. Handwriting barely legible on paper, stained brown. Kasserine Pass. Tigers, 6 of them cutting through American Shermans like tin. Thomas on a 37mm, shooting, missing, rounds bouncing off German armor, then an 88 through the turret. Everyone inside killed instantly. The letter ends with 7 words that change everything. We got no gun that kills tigers. The funeral is March 7th. Ground frozen. Pneumatic drills to break earth. Closed casket. Not enough of Thomas left to show. Rick stares at the folded flag and makes a promise that tastes like iron. I will kill the men who made those tanks. His mother sees his face, takes his hand. Don't you dare. Too late. January 26th, 1943. Army Recruitment Office, Des Moines. Armor, Rick tells the sergeant. The sergeant looks skeptical. We don't kill tanks with tanks, son. The British do. Rick produces a newspaper clipping, article about 17-pounders in North Africa. Penetration values that could crack tigers. 3 hours of phone calls later, Rick signs papers for the Anglo-American Liaison Program. Volunteer service with British armored units. His mother cries for 3 days. His father shakes his hand once. Says nothing. Rick ships out February 11th, 3 days before the anniversary. The training facility outside Dorchester is mud and Quonset huts. 300 volunteers from a dozen countries, all angry, all willing to die for the chance to kill Germans. A British major with an impressive mustache explains the program. You will crew Sherman Fireflies mounting the British 17-pounder anti-tank gun. This weapon can kill any German tank currently fielded. That includes the Tiger. He pauses, looks at each man. The Germans hunt Firefly crews with extreme prejudice. Your life expectancy in combat is measured in weeks. Nobody leaves. Rick's first sight of the 17-pounder comes at dawn the next day. The gun sits under canvas on a flatbed truck. When they pull the tarp, Rick understands why it's called Oversized. The barrel stretches nearly 14 feet, impossibly long. Mounted on a Sherman, it looks absurd and absolutely beautiful. The gunnery instructor is Sergeant Davies, Welsh, missing 2 fingers on his left hand. This, Davies says, slapping the barrel, is the 17-pounder Mark II, designed November 1940. Tiger tank first appeared August 1942. The implications hang heavy in cold morning air. Prophecy, foresight. How? Someone asks. Davies grins. Intelligence predicted 100mm armor. Our designers built for 150. Turns out they were right. He walks around the gun like a priest circling an altar. Muzzle velocity 2950 feet per second. At 500 yards, penetrates 163 millimeters. The Tiger carries 100 frontal, the Panther 110 on the turret, both well within range. Davies looks directly at Rick. You wanted a gun that kills tigers? Built 3 years ago, waiting for you. Rick touches the barrel. Cold steel under his palm. Teach me, he says. Training is brutal. 6 days a week. 16 hours daily. Live fire, tactics, tank identification. Rick absorbs everything, learns the 17-pounder uses separate loading, projectile first, then propellant. Slower, but allows different ammunition types. Armor-piercing capped, APCBC, high explosive, and the classified round they only whisper about, APDS, armor-piercing discarding sabot, tungsten carbide penetrator, 4,000 feet per second, punches through armor like it isn't there. 5 APDS rounds per tank, Davies says. That's it, tungsten is rarer than honesty. Rick's marksmanship scores top the class. He practices when everyone else sleeps. Fires until his shoulder bruises, purple-black. Until he can field strip the breech blindfolded, until he almost stops seeing Thomas burning. Almost. Week 7. Rick is assigned to a crew. Sergeant William Ashford is commander, 29, North Africa veteran, survived Ghazala, Tobruk, the long retreat. Scar across his left cheek he never explains. Ashford interviews Rick in a mess hall, smelling like boiled cabbage. Why are you here, Callahan? My brother was killed by a tiger. Me? Half the men here lost someone. Why you specifically? Rick meets grey eyes that have seen too much. I want to kill the people who made those tanks. Can't do that from a Firefly. Only kill crews. Then I'll kill as many crews as I can. Ashford nods slowly, lights a cigarette. Last month in Tunisia, Firefly crews had 40% higher casualties than standard Shermans. Jerry knows about us. They hunt us. You volunteered to be hunted. Will it kill tigers? If you live long enough to pull the trigger. Then I don't care about the rest. Ashford stubs out the cigarette. You're my gunner. Don't make me regret it. April becomes May. D-Day approaches. Rick watches classified combat footage. Silent films from Tunisia, fireflies at Hunt's Gap. The position reports will call the Tiger graveyard. 6 tigers advancing, British positions dug in high. The tigers move with arrogant confidence. Then 17-pounders open fire. Lead tiger takes a round through the glasses, stops. Smoke pours from hatches. Crew bails, uniforms burning. Second tiger reverses, another hit, turret penetration, the top blows off. 4 tigers scatter, British gunners pick them off, clinical, professional, brutal. 6 tigers burning, 1 British gun destroyed. Rick watches that footage 40 times, imagines Thomas's killer burning exactly like that. May 28th, Rick's crew gets their tank, Sherman M4, A3. Standard American manufacture. But the 17-pounder in the turret makes her special. The barrel extends so far it throws off balance. Turret ring reinforced. Bow machine gun eliminated for ammunition. 68 rounds instead of 90. 4-man crew instead of 5. Ashford, commander. Rick, gunner. Corporal Peters, loader. Private Winston, driver. They name the tank Vengeance. Nobody asks why. June 4th, final briefing, the invasion is coming. The intelligence captain shows maps, enemy positions in red. Behind the beaches you will encounter bocage, hedgerows, ancient field boundaries, natural tank traps. The Germans will use them to bleed us. He makes eye contact with Firefly crews specifically. You will encounter panthers and tigers. They have standing orders regarding fireflies. He produces a captured German document. Wehrmacht Tactical Manual, April 44, quote, "The enemy Sherman mounting the long-barrel gun must be destroyed before engagement. Identify by extended barrel length. Priority Alpha target." Silence. Men understanding what being targets means. They will hunt you first, the captain says quietly. Your only advantages are range, penetration, and numbers. Rick raises his hand. Sir, when we kill a tiger, can we know which crew? The captain looks puzzled. We track numbers when possible. Why? Because I want to know who I kill. Me. Quiet room. Captain stares 5 full seconds. We'll do our best, Private Callahan. June 6th. D-Day. Vengeance crosses the channel on an LST, pitching in 6-foot seas. Rick stands in the crew compartment, hand on the 17-pounder's barrel. Somewhere ahead is France. Germans, the man who killed Thomas, maybe? Probably not, but someone will pay the blood debt. The landing at Gold Beach is chaos. Bodies, burning vehicles, wreckage that was human 30 seconds ago. Vengeance churns through surf and up the beach, past death, into the bocage nightmare, and waits. June 6th, 7th, 8th. The counterattack comes June 9th. Dawn breaks grey over Normandy. Rick has been awake 36 hours. Radio crackles. Enemy armor approaching. Multiple contacts. Panthers confirmed. Mount up, Ashford says. Rick climbs into the gunner's position. Checks the 17-pounder. Everything smooth. Ready. Load APCBC. Peters slides the round home. 23 pounds of hardened steel closes the breach. Up! Vengeance moves forward, through a hedgerow gap, into the wheat field, and there, 400 yards, a Panther, low profile, 75mm, frontal armor sloped 55 degrees, beautiful like sharks are beautiful. The Panther's gun swivels toward them. Rick centers the sight picture, crosshairs on the turret ring, weakest point. His finger touches the firing mechanism and freezes, because through the scope he sees the Panther's commander, half visible in the cupola, young, maybe 20, blonde hair, human, just like Thomas was human. Callahan, Ashford says, urgent. Fire! Rick's finger won't move. The Panther's gun elevates. 10 seconds. Callahan. Rick thinks of Thomas, burning, screaming. Thomas, who taught him to shoot deer, who helped with algebra, who promised to come home. Thomas, who was just as human as that German commander. Rick pulls the trigger. The 17-pounder roars. Recoil rocks the Sherman. Smoke fills the turret. Through clearing haze, Rick sees the hit. Dead center, turret ring. The Panther shudders. Stops. Smoke pours from hatches. No secondary explosion. Crew might have survived. Might have. Rick vomits into the spent shell bag. Good shot, Ashford says quietly. Load again, there's more. 4 more Panthers, armored wedge formation. Rick kills 2, misses the 3rd shot because his hands shake. Peters gets one with the 4th round. Last Panther retreats. When it's over, Rick sits shaking, tasting bile and smoke. 3 men today, probably more. 3 men with mothers, maybe wives, children. 3 men who would have killed Rick without hesitation. Ashford climbs into the turret. Wounded. Blood through his sleeve. You did well. I killed them. Yes. And they were trying to kill us. That's war. Rick stares at his hands. Steady now. My brother, this is what he felt. Probably. Come on. You need sleep. They climb out. June morning beautiful. Birds singing. Flowers blooming. Smoke rising from burning tanks, beautiful and terrible and normal. This is war, what Rick volunteered for, the price of killing tigers. Somewhere out there is the tank that killed Thomas. Maybe, or 100 just like it. Rick will kill them all, one at a time, until none remain, or until he burns. Like Thomas. The prophecy gun will have its accounting. The 17-pounder, built November 1940, for a war that hadn't started. For an enemy that didn't exist, built for this moment. For boys like Rick Callahan, who crossed an ocean to kill Germans, and discovered killing is easier than living with what you've done. The prophecy is 3 years old. The war is just beginning, and somewhere British engineers are already designing the gun that will kill the next generation 3 years early, just like prophecy should be. Normandy becomes a graveyard that doesn't know it's dead yet. The bocage swallows men and machines with equal appetite. Ancient hedgerows planted 1,000 years ago by Norman farmers who never imagined their field boundaries would kill American boys. Each hedgerow is 8 feet high, roots thick as a man's thigh, earth and stone compacted by centuries, natural fortifications that turn every field into a fortress. The Germans understand this. They dig in, wait, and hunt. Rick Callahan learns what it means to be prey. 5 days after his first kills, vengeance sits hull down behind a hedgerow outside a village whose name Rick can't pronounce. Waiting, always waiting. War is 90% waiting and 10% terror. June 17th, mid-afternoon, the kind of summer day that should mean baseball and swimming holes, instead means death hiding in green shadows. The radio crackles, Ashford's voice. The shrapnel wound in his arm is infected, but he refuses evacuation. Movement, 200 yards, right sector. Rick traverses the 17-pounder, scans through the periscope, sees nothing but green. Everything in Normandy is green, green that hides death. Then, a flicker of movement. Panzer IV, German medium tank, 75mm gun, inferior to the Panther but still deadly, moving slowly through a gap in the hedgerow. Identified, Rick says. Wait for it, Ashford replies. Let him commit. The Panzer IV advances 10 yards, 20, exposes its flank. Fire! The APCBC round takes the Panzer in the side armor, penetrates. Secondary explosion blows the turret hatch open. One crewman scrambles out, burning, screaming. Rick looks away. Load HE, Ashford says. Infantry in the hedgerow. They spend the next 20 minutes killing men they never see. High explosive shells airburst above German positions. When it's over, the silence is worse than the noise. That night the dreams start. The burning crewman, except he has Thomas's face, Thomas's voice, screaming Rick's name. Rick wakes up vomiting. This becomes routine. Early July brings a battalion briefing that changes everything. Maps and statistics and numbers that measure death. The intelligence officer is the same captain from before D-Day. He looks older now. They all look older. War ages you in ways calendars can't measure. Firefly losses are unsustainable, he says, without preamble. No warm-up, just truth delivered like a punch. June 6th to July 1st, we deployed 342 Fireflies across all sectors. 47 have been destroyed, 14%. Standard Sherman losses in the same period are 9%. He lets that sink in. The Germans are targeting you. Specifically, we have confirmation from multiple prisoner interrogations. He produces a document, German, Gothic script that Rick can't read. Captured from an SS Panzer officer 2 days ago, it's a tactical directive dated May 44. I'll read the relevant section. The captain's German is flawless. Then he translates. The enemy Sherman variant mounting the extended barrel anti-tank gun represents the primary armored threat. This vehicle can be identified by barrel length exceeding 4 meters, distinctive muzzle brake and modified turret profile. All Panzer commanders will prioritize destruction of these vehicles before engaging standard enemy armor. Suggested engagement range is maximum effective distance to prevent return fire. Silence in the briefing tent. 30 Firefly commanders and gunners, all understanding what this means. They are marked priority targets. The most dangerous men on the battlefield aren't the ones who kill the most. They're the ones who threaten the most, and the 17-pounder threatens everything. Recommendations, the captain continues, are to implement visual deception, camouflage, anything that makes the Firefly less identifiable at range. After the briefing, Rick finds Peters in the maintenance area. "We need paint," Rick says. "Paint? We're supposed to kill Germans, not redecorate. White paint, flat, non-reflective." Peters stares at him, then understanding dawns. Brilliant. Absolutely mad, but brilliant. They steal white paint from a Navy supply depot. Apply it to the underside of the 17-pounder's barrel. The effect is optical illusion. From certain angles, the white underside blends with the sky, making the barrel appear shorter. Other crews adopt similar techniques. Some install fake muzzle brakes halfway down the barrel where a 75mm gun would end. Some drape camouflage netting to break up the silhouette. One crew reverses their turret and mounts a wooden pole on the bustle, hiding the real gun under branches. Desperation breeds innovation, or maybe just delays the inevitable. The attack on Tilly-sur-Seulles comes at dawn 12 days later. 4 Panthers, advancing in formation through morning fog that turns the world into ghosts. Vengeance is positioned in a sunken lane. Good concealment, limited maneuver, trap as much as position. Rick spots the lead Panther at 300 yards. Fog makes everything uncertain. Distance, speed, reality itself becomes negotiable. "Fire!" Ashford says. The shot goes high, clips the Panther's gun mantle, doesn't penetrate. The Panther returns fire instantly. The 88mm round passes 6 inches above Vengeance's turret. Close enough that Rick feels the displacement of air. Close enough to smell the propellant. 6 inches. The difference between alive and burning. "Load," Ashford says, still calm, always calm. Peters loads, hands shaking now, they're all shaking. "Fire, second round, center mass, glasses plate." The Panther stops, bruise up. Beautiful orange flame against grey fog. The other Panthers scatter. One retreats, 2 advance trying to flank. The mathematics of armored combat. Kill or be killed. No middle ground. Vengeance destroys one more Panther before withdrawing. The sunken lane becomes a killing ground. British infantry report finding the position obliterated by German artillery 2 hours later. That night, Rick measures 6 inches on the turret exterior, scratches a mark with his bayonet. That's how close death came. He'll add more marks before the war ends. 11 more. Each one a moment when the universe decided he deserved to live, for now. 4 days later brings a different kind of terror. Rick is outside Vengeance performing maintenance. The 17-pounder requires constant attention. Recoil mechanism, breech block, elevation gears. He's checking the hydraulic buffer when the first round cracks past his head. Sniper. German. Somewhere in the hedgerow 200 yards out. The world narrows to instinct. Rick drops. Crawls under the Sherman. Heart hammering so hard it hurts. 2 more shots. Both impact the turret. Right where Rick was standing 3 seconds ago, professional, patient, waiting for Rick to move. He doesn't move, lies in the mud under 3 tons of tank, waiting. The sniper is hunting him specifically, not Ashford, not Peters or Winston, the gunner, the man who aims the 17-pounder. Kill the gunner, neutralize the gun. British infantry sweep the hedgerow an hour later, find the sniper, German paratrooper, Fallschirmjäger, elite. In his rucksack they find a notebook with sketches, Sherman profiles, normal and Firefly, differences highlighted, and a note in German that the translator reads aloud. Primary targets, Firefly gunner, Firefly commander, secondary, loader, driver and hull gunner are acceptable casualties but non-priority. Rick looks at the dead sniper. 19, maybe 20, blonde hair, blue eyes. Could be Rick's classmate from Iowa, could be anyone's brother, doing his duty, following orders, trying to kill Rick before Rick kills him. He was good, the British sergeant says. 200 yards, iron sights, center mass grouping. Not good enough, Rick replies. That night, he dreams of the sniper. Dreams they're back in Iowa, hunting deer together. Friends. He wakes up, doesn't vomit this time, getting used to it. Late July brings a loss that makes everything personal. The Firefly next to Vengeance in the motor pool is designated Retribution, commanded by Lieutenant Hayes. Good officer, 26, from Yorkshire. Has a wife and a daughter he's never met, never will meet. Evening stand to on July 24th. 6 Tigers, coordinated assault, the kind of German armor doctrine that wins battles. Retribution gets off 2 shots, both penetrate, 2 Tigers burning. The 3rd Tiger fires from 800 yards, perfect shot, punches through Retribution's frontal armor, ammunition cooks off, the Firefly explodes, turret launched 30 feet straight up, lands upside down 20 yards away. No survivors. Rick watches from Vengeance's position 200 yards away, watches Hayes's crew burn, smells it, roasted pork smell that isn't pork. Ashford puts a hand on his shoulder. Don't, Ashford says. Don't what? Whatever you're thinking, don't. But Rick is already thinking it. Retribution was parked next to Vengeance every night for 6 weeks. Same motor pool, same maintenance schedule. The German gunner who killed Hayes could have killed Rick just as easily. 50-50 chance. Coin flip. Hayes lost. Rick didn't. This time. They're hunting us, Rick says. Yes. All of us. Every Firefly crew. Yes. Why do we keep fighting? Ashford lights a cigarette, offers one to Rick. Rick doesn't smoke, but he takes it anyway. Because, Ashford says, exhaling smoke that glows orange in the dusk, we're the only thing that kills tigers. Standard Shermans bounce rounds off their armor. Infantry can't touch them. Artillery's hit or miss, literally. But the 17-pounder, at range, from cover, we're the only counter the Germans fear. He takes another drag. They hunt us because we're dangerous. If we weren't dangerous, they wouldn't bother. Rick smokes the cigarette down to the filter, throws it into the dirt. I want to kill them all, he says quietly. You'll get your chance. 6 days later, intelligence briefing, classified. Firefly crews only. The captain looks worse than before. Hasn't slept in days, probably. Hasn't shaved. Uniform rumpled. The fluorescent lighting in the tent makes everyone look like corpses. Gentlemen, he says, I'm going to tell you about a man. His name is Hauptmann Klaus von Eisenberg, Waffen-SS, 1st SS Panzer Corps, and he is systematically destroying every Firefly he encounters. The captain pins a photograph to the map board. German officer, handsome, Iron Cross, 1st class, visible on his tunic, confident smile, the smile of a man who's never lost. Von Eisenberg is 30 years old, veteran of Poland, France, and the Eastern Front. Currently commands Tiger number 007. He is credited with 138 confirmed kills, highest scoring panzer ace in Normandy. 138. The number sits heavy in the tent, heavier than the summer heat, heavier than fear. June 13th, Villers-Bocage. Von Eisenberg conducted a solo attack on a British armoured column, destroyed 14 tanks, 15 armoured carriers, 2 anti-tank guns, 15 minutes, 1 Tiger. The captain shows combat footage, silent film, black and white, but the carnage is vivid. A Tiger tank, alone, ambushing a British column strung out through a village street. The Tiger fires, reverses, fires again, methodical, professional, brutal, British armour burning, crews bailing out, infantry scattering, the Tiger withdrawing after achieving complete tactical surprise. 3 Fireflies were in that column, the captain says. They damaged 2 of von Eisenberg's supporting Tigers, forced his withdrawal, the only time he's ever retreated from an engagement. He pauses. Since Villers-Bocage, von Eisenberg has been operating in our sector. June 13th to July the 29th. 7 Fireflies confirmed destroyed in engagements where Tiger 007 was positively identified. 7 crews, 28 men. The captain looks at each Firefly commander individually. He's hunting you, specifically. We've intercepted communications. Von Eisenberg has standing orders from his divisional commander. Quote, prioritize elimination of enemy long-barrel Shermans. These vehicles represent unacceptable threat to armored operations. Unquote. Rick raises his hand. Sir, where is he now? We don't know. His unit is mobile, somewhere between here and Falaise, could be anywhere within a 50-kilometer radius. How do we kill him? The captain looks surprised. Like nobody asked that question before, like everyone else just wants to survive. You don't, Private Callahan. You survive him, you avoid engagement if possible, you withdraw if he's identified. Von Eisenberg is the best panzer commander in theater. He has tactical advantages you can't overcome. The 17-pounder can penetrate the Tiger. If you hit him, if he doesn't hit you first, if he doesn't have support, if weather is clear and range is favorable and you have good position and he doesn't see you first. The captain's voice rises. Von Eisenberg has survived 3 years of combat because he's better than you, better than me, better than anyone in this tent. Don't engage. That's an order. Me. After the briefing, Rick finds Ashford outside smoking. I want him, Rick says. I know. Hayes, retribution, everyone he killed. Someone has to stop him. Ashford studies Rick for a long moment. The scar on his cheek looks darker in the evening light. You think you're the hero of this story, Ashford says quietly. You're not. Von Eisenberg is the hero of his story, protecting his men, defending his country, good soldier, good commander. Good. Probably writes letters to his mother just like you do. He killed 28 Firefly crew. And how many German tank crew have we killed? You personally, how many? Rick doesn't answer, because he knows, has counted. 11 tanks destroyed since D-Day, 44 men, minimum, maybe more, hard to know how many survived, 44 fathers, brothers, sons, just like Thomas was someone's son. War doesn't have heroes, Ashford says, just survivors and corpses. Try to be the first one. August 4th, 2,100 hours. Emergency briefing pulls every Firefly crew from evening stand-down. The captain looks excited. First time Rick has seen anything resembling emotion on his face in weeks. We found him, Von Eisenberg, Tiger 007, identified by a reconnaissance aircraft 3 hours ago. Falaise sector, grid coordinates follow. He points to the map with a hand that actually trembles slightly. Operation Totalize launches August 8th. Massive armored thrust toward Falaise. Canadian and Polish forces' objective is to close the Falaise gap and trap German forces withdrawing from Normandy. His finger traces the route. Von Eisenberg's unit is directly in the path of advance. Route Nationale 158. He'll be there, guaranteed. It's the only road that can support heavy armor withdrawal. The captain looks at the assembled Firefly crews. I know I said avoid engagement. I'm revising that order. Operation Totalize is our best chance to eliminate von Eisenberg. Multiple Fireflies, combined arms, air support, artillery preparation, everything working together. He pauses. Or he'll kill more of you, one at a time, until there's nobody left. Rick feels something cold settle in his chest. Not fear, something else. Purpose. Thomas died to a Tiger. Maybe not von Eisenberg's Tiger, but what's the difference? One Tiger or another, one German crew or another. They all wear the same uniform. They all kill the same. I volunteer, Rick says. You're already assigned, Private Callahan. All Firefly units are. The next 3 days pass in a blur of preparation, training, loading ammunition, maintenance rituals that keep men sane when sanity is a luxury. August 5th, The Army issues 5 APDS rounds per Firefly, armor-piercing discarding sabot, tungsten carbide, the classified ammunition that can punch through 230 millimeters of armor at 1,000 yards. Rick loads each round personally, checks each sabot, runs his fingers over the tungsten penetrator. 5 rounds, each one worth more than a month's pay, rarer than gold, precious, and absolutely lethal. Peters watches him work. You really think you'll get him? Yes. Why? Rick looks up from the ammunition. Because the 17-pounder was built in November 1940, 3 years before I needed it. Someone knew, someone planned, someone looked ahead and saw the future. He slides an APDS round into the storage rack. Von Eisenberg is the future they saw, the Tiger is the future they built for, and I'm the prophecy coming true. Peters doesn't respond. What is there to say? August 7th, Evening Vengeance sits in the assembly area with 200 other tanks. Shermans, Cromwells, Canadian Rams, a mechanized fist preparing to strike. Rick performs his ritual, check recoil mechanism, test traverse, verify elevation gears, clean breech block, lubricate barrel. The 17-pounder gleams, 4 meters of precision engineering, 3 years of foresight made steel. Ashford climbs onto the turret as darkness falls. Letter for you, he says, hands Rick an envelope, his mother's handwriting. Rick doesn't open it, not now, later, after, if there is an after. Want to talk about tomorrow? Ashford asks. No. Going to anyway. Von Eisenberg is smart. He'll see the attack coming. He'll position himself to maximum advantage. He'll have support. He'll have escape routes planned. Ashford lights a cigarette. The glow illuminates his scarred face. What he won't expect is someone who wants to die to kill him. Rick looks up. I don't want to die. Don't you? Brother killed by tiger. Volunteered to crew the tank that hunts tigers. Refused rotation back to England. Volunteered for Totalize specifically. Ashford blows smoke into the evening air. You're not trying to survive this war, Callahan. You're trying to even the score. Make Thomas's death mean something. Problem is, deaths don't mean anything. They just are. Then what am I supposed to do? Live. Win. Go home. Have children. Name one Thomas. Let him grow up in a world without tigers because we killed them all. Ashford drops the cigarette, crushes it under his boot. That's how you make deaths mean something, not by adding to them. He climbs down from the turret. Rick sits alone as darkness falls, opens his mother's letter. 3 pages, her handwriting shaky, grief and fear bleeding through pen and ink. She talks about the farm, harvest coming in, neighbors asking about him, church prayers every Sunday, and at the end, underlined twice, come home, Merrick, Thomas is gone, don't make me lose you too. Rick folds the letter, puts it in his jacket pocket. Tomorrow he'll face von Eisenberg, 138 kills, best panzer commander in theater, tiger tank that shrugs off everything except the 17-pounder, and Rick, farm boy from Iowa, 21 years old, 14 confirmed kills, hands that shake before every battle, the prophecy versus the legend, the gun from tomorrow versus the tank of today. He loads the final APDS round into the ready rack. 5 rounds total. 5 chances to kill the unkillable. Somewhere in the darkness, von Eisenberg is doing the same, loading ammunition, checking systems, preparing to kill more fireflies, preparing to kill Rick, unless Rick kills him first. The 17-pounder waits, silent, patient, built 3 years ago for this moment, for tomorrow, for prophecy to become history. Rick whispers to the gun, "Don't miss." The gun doesn't answer, but tomorrow it will speak, and someone will die. August 8th, 1944. The sun rises over Normandy like it has every morning since D-Day, indifferent to the men about to die beneath it. Operation Totalize begins at 600. 1,500 Allied guns transform the horizon into fire. The earth convulses. Rick Callahan has been in the gunner's position since 400, watching orange flashes bloom like lethal flowers through his periscope. The radio crackles. Canadian command. All units advance in 5 minutes. Objective Route Nationale 158. Secure the highway. Trap the enemy. Winston fires up the Ford GAA. 500 horses wake beneath them. Davies loads APCBC without being told. The breach closes with a sound Rick has heard 1,000 times, but never stops hearing. Ashford's voice, always calm. Move out. The advance is chaos organized by desperate men. 50 tanks churning through bocage toward open country, fields, villages. Roads lined with poplars that hide German anti-tank guns. First contact comes at 7:30. 5 Panzer IVs hull down behind stone walls. The engagement lasts 6 minutes. 3 Germans burning. 1 Sherman lost. Not a Firefly, not vengeance. They push forward. By 0800, the lead elements reach Route Nationale 158. The highway runs straight toward Falaise, toward the Gap, toward trapped Germans trying to escape. And somewhere on that road, Klaus von Eisenberg. Through the periscope, Rick scans constantly, searching for the silhouette memorized from intelligence photos. Low hull, angled armor, the distinctive profile of death, nothing yet. Then, 0847. The scout tank screams over the radio. Contact, contact, contact. Tigers, multiple Tigers, grid Charlie. 47. Lead tank. Christ, lead tank has 007 on the hull. Rick's hands stop shaking. Absolute clarity descends like grace. 3 years of grief and anger and purpose narrowing to this single moment. Prophecy. Direction, Ashford says. Voice still calm but edged now with something Rick has never heard before. Excitement maybe, or fear. Northwest, 1,000 yards, closing. Winston maneuvers Vengeance hull down behind a low rise. Classic firing position, just the turret exposed. The 17-pounder traverses northwest, and there, through morning haze and smoke from burning vehicles, through 3 years of waiting, 3 Tigers, perfect formation, German armor doctrine made manifest in steel, the lead machine, Tiger 007, on the hull in white paint, the numbers Rick has seen in nightmares. Identified, he says. His voice sounds like someone else speaking. Range 1100, closing. Wait, Ashford says. Let him commit. The Tigers advance with the confidence of machines that have never been properly answered, that own every battlefield they enter. Von Eisenberg doesn't know yet, doesn't know that in November 1940, British engineers built the weapon that will kill him. 3 years before he ever climbed into a Tiger. The prophecy is 3 years old. The reckoning is seconds away. 851. Another Firefly opens fire from the right. Retribution 2. Hayes's replacement. 1,000 yards. Hasty shot. Miss. The round passes high over the German commander's turret. The response is instant. Professional. Brutal. The Tiger's 88 swivels, elevates, fires, dead center. Retribution 2 explodes. Turret launched skyward like a toy. 4 men dead before the sound reaches Rick's ears. The other 2 Tigers accelerate. 312 left. 314 right. Classic flanking maneuver. The killing ground von Eisenberg has prepared 100 times before. Range, Ashford says, 1,050. Wait. The Tigers close 1,000 yards, 950, 900. Crosshairs centered on the lead machine's glasses plate. Center mass. Thickest armor. where APDS will punch through anyway, but the gunner doesn't fire, waiting. First shot kills or you burn, 855. Tiger, 312, breaks left, flanking, standard tactics that have worked since Poland. The 17-pounder starts to traverse toward the threat. No, Ashford says. Stay on 007. Kill the head. 312 is flanking. Stay on the head. The crosshairs remain fixed on von Eisenberg's machine. Tiger 312 disappears into peripheral vision. Two directions of death converging. This is how 28 Firefly crews died, caught between multiple Tigers, overwhelmed by the best Germany has. But Ashford is right. The German commander is the threat, has been the threat since Villers-Bocage, since the first Firefly he killed. Kill the legend, the rest will break. 858. Tiger 007 stops. 850 yards, perfect range for the 88mm gun. The German has seen them, identified the long barrel, the distinctive muzzle brake, priority target. Through the sight, Rick watches the enemy gun elevate, traverse slightly. The mantlet shifts, aligning. Von Eisenberg is aiming at him, at the gunner's position specifically. Kill the gunner. Silence the gun. He sees us. I know, Ashford replies. Fire. The farm boy from Iowa tightens his finger on the mechanism, then hesitates. 1 second. Maybe less, because through the periscope he can see the Tiger commander. Half visible in the cupola, iron cross gleaming, young face under the field cap. Human, just like Thomas was human, just like all of them are human under the uniforms and flags and ideologies. The Tiger fires first. The 88mm shell screams past Vengeance's turret. 8 inches clearance, close enough to feel displacement, close enough to taste propellant burn, 8 inches between living and burning.
Callahan, Ashford shouts, now! And Rick pulls the trigger. The 17-pounder roars, built November 1940. 3 years, 9 months of waiting for this second, this target, this moment. Recoil slams the Sherman backward. Smoke floods the turret. Cordite and burning oil, the smell of prophecy fulfilled. Through clearing haze, the gunner searches for impact. Tiger 007 sits, motionless. 850 yards, no visible damage, miss. After everything.
Then the glass's plate splits. Not cracks, not fails, just opens, like someone unlocked a door. A PDS tungsten carbide, 4,000 feet per second. Physics-made weapon. Penetration. For 1 second, the world holds its breath. Then the Germans' ammunition cooks off. The explosion is biblical. White flame. Secondary detonations, the turret lifts. Slowly. Almost gracefully. 15 feet up. Flips. Crashes, inverted 20 yards away, the hull becomes furnace. Black smoke pouring from blown hatches, nobody escapes. 859, Tiger 312 reverses, panicked. Another Firefly kills him 3 minutes later. Tiger 314 burns from air-delivered rockets. By 09:05 silence, 3 Tigers destroyed, 2 Fireflies lost. The mathematics of armored warfare written in smoke and steel. And in the middle of the field, Klaus von Eisenberg's command tank, burning like all the others. In the gunner's seat, hands shake again. The clarity evaporates, just shock now. And something else. Emptiness. The man who killed Hayes, who killed 28 crews, Germany's best, dead by a gun built before they met, prophecy fulfilled. So why does it feel like losing? 1,030 hours. The fighting has moved on toward Falaise. Vengeance stays behind, engine trouble officially, really because Ashford wants his gunner to see. They approach Tiger 007 on foot. The hull has cooled enough, the turret still radiates heat like hatred. Combat engineers are measuring, photographing, analyzing. One looks up. Clean kill, a PDS through the glacis. Crew never had a chance. He consults a clipboard. 4 bodies. Commander identified. Hauptmann Klaus von Eisenberg. Confirmed by Paybook and Iron Cross. The engineer shows the medal, melted, warped, the swastika still visible. 138 kills, hell of a score. The farm boy circles the tiger, studies the penetration hole, 6 inches wide, clean edges. The 17-pounder cut through like the armor was paper. November 1940 to August 1944. 3 years, 9 months, 1 second, 1 dead German who was the best they had. The engineer approaches. You're the gunner. Hell of a shot. That's going in the training manuals. No response. Just staring at the burned machine. Found this in the wreckage. Thought you might want to see. A photograph. Scorched edges, but the image clear. 3 blonde girls. Smiling. Ages 3, 5, 7. Standing with their mother in front of a German house. And behind them, uniform, smiling, Klaus von Eisenberg. Dated July 1944, 1 month ago. The reverse. Handwriting, German script. Translator read it, the engineer says. To my darling Klaus, the girls miss you. Come home soon, all my love, Margaret. Rick stares. 3 children who don't know their father is dead yet. Won't know for weeks. Letters take time during war. 3 girls who will grow up without a father. Just like Rick grew up without a brother. The cycle, endless. Von Eisenberg killed someone's brother. Rick killed someone's father. 3 German children pay for it. He hands the photograph back. Keep it. War trophy. I don't want it. The 21-year-old walks away, climbs into vengeance, sits in the gunner's position, stares at nothing. Ashford finds him later. You did what you came here to do. I know. Von Eisenberg was a soldier. You're a soldier. Duty. I know. His daughters will live. They'll be sad. They'll miss him. But they'll grow up in a world without tigers, without camps, without all of it. Ashford lights a cigarette. You gave them that by taking their father. Ugly arithmetic, but true. Does it stop hurting? No, but you learn to carry it. How? By remembering why. By going home, by building instead of destroying. August transitions to September. Totalize achieves objectives. Falaise, gap closes. Thousands trapped. The statistics compiled later by men who never saw. 3 tigers destroyed. Von Eisenberg, 138 kills, ended by PFC Merrick Callahan, age 21, farm boy from Iowa, using a gun designed 3 years, 9 months before the trigger pull. Media finds out. Stars and Stripes, Signal Corps. They want the Iowa farm boy who killed the Nazi ace. He refuses everything. I'm not a hero, he tells the captain who comes looking. I'm just a kid who killed a father. They leave him alone after that. May 8th, 45. VE Day. Germany surrenders. Merrick Callahan survives. Ashford survives. Vengeance survives. Davies dies in Germany. March 45. Panzerfaust. 3 weeks before the end, Winston makes it home. Dies in Scotland. 47. Drunk driver. War kills different ways, different times. Final count. 5 tigers, 11 panthers. 14 Panzer IVs. Estimated crew casualties 116. 116 fathers, brothers, sons, numbers on reports, but the gunner knows, remembers every tank, every shot, every face visible through the scope. He goes home to Iowa in June 45, steps off the train in Des Moines. His mother is there. His father, older, grayer, worn by grief and waiting. They don't ask about the war. He doesn't tell them. What is there to say? That he killed the man who killed Thomas. Except von Eisenberg didn't kill Thomas. Some other German did in some other tiger. And he killed von Eisenberg anyway. 3 daughters will never see their father again. Even. The farm is the same. 90 acres, corn and cattle. County Road, 17. Everything the same. Except Rick. 1963. 18 years after. Rick is 40. Never married, lives with his mother. Father died in 58, heart attack. He teaches history at the high school. World War II, European theatre, Normandy, Falaise. Never mentions he was there. One day a student asks, "Mr. Callahan, did you fight in the war?" The classroom goes quiet. 20 teenagers waiting. Yes. Did you kill anyone? The question hangs. Rick looks at the student. 16. Same age Rick was when Thomas died. Yes. How many? Too many. Not enough. Both. The student doesn't understand. How could he? After class, Rick sits alone, stares at the map on the wall. Normandy, the Bocage, Route Nationale 158. Somewhere in Germany, 3 women in their 20s are living lives their father never saw. Maybe they have children now. Maybe those children ask about their grandfather who died in France. Maybe they call him a hero. Rick goes home. To his mother. To the farm. To the silence he's built around the things he can't say. 1984. Rick is 61. A historian comes, writing a book about Firefly crews. Wants an interview. They sit in the kitchen, tape recorder between them. You killed Klaus von Eisenberg, one of the war's most celebrated aces. How does that feel? The old gunner stares at the machine, thinks about 3 girls who would be middle-aged now. Grandmothers, maybe. I killed a father. How should it feel? But you're a hero. No, I'm just a man who pulled a trigger. The gun mattered, not the gunner. The 17-pounder built before the Tiger existed. Some call it prophetic. Someone in England in 40 looked ahead, saw what was coming, built what we'd need. That's the real story. Engineers who saw tomorrow. But you're the one who used it. Thousands used it. I was just one, in the right place, with the right target, or wrong place, wrong target. Depends how you look at it. The historian leaves frustrated. The book gets published. Rick doesn't read it. 1994, Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland, museum dedication. Firefly Vengeance, restored. Monument to the crews who fought in them. Rick attends. 71 now, heart problems, walks with a cane. He stands before the Sherman. The 17-pounder gleams. 4 meters of prophecy made steel, a plaque. Sherman Firefly Vengeance, D-Day to VE Day. 17 confirmed kills including Tiger 007, Gunner, PFC, Merrick, Callahan. He touches the barrel. Cold now. Silent. Built November 1940 for a war just beginning, for tigers that didn't exist. For August 8th, 44. The curator approaches. Mr. Callahan, would you say a few words? The old soldier looks at the gun that saved his life 47 times. They saw tomorrow, he says quietly, when November 1940. Engineers who knew war was coming, who knew what we'd face, built this, and thousands lived because of it. He pauses. But someone always paid. Von Eisenberg paid. His daughters paid. Every crew paid. We all paid. That's prophecy's cost. Someone always pays. The curator doesn't understand. Wasn't there. Rick drives home, to Iowa, to County Road 17. That night he dreams of the German ace, dreams they're in a cafe, somewhere peaceful, drinking coffee, talking about families. Von Eisenberg shows photographs, his daughters, grown, beautiful, alive. Rick shows Thomas, young, smiling, also alive. In dreams, nobody dies, no tigers, no fireflies, no 17-pounders built 3 years early, just two soldiers who might have been friends. He wakes crying. Merrick Callahan dies 2001, age 78, heart failure, obituary in Des Moines Register. 3 paragraphs. Teacher, veteran, survived by cousins. No mention of Klaus von Eisenberg. No mention of prophecy, just another old soldier gone. 17 people attend the funeral. Former students, relatives, and 1 old man, British. 2 Canes. Sergeant William Ashford, 86, flew from England. After the service, Ashford stands at the grave. You did good, Callahan. You lived, went home, built instead of destroyed. Thomas would be proud. He drops something on the grave, a photograph, scorched edges, 3 German girls, smiling. They lived too because you ended it, ugly way, but you ended it. Prophecy costs, but someone pays. He walks away. Returns to England. The photograph stays until rain takes it, the way rain takes everything. The 17-pounder entered service 1942, designed November 1940. Before Tigers existed, 2,100 Sherman Fireflies built, 31% of all German heavy tank kills in Northwest Europe. Hauptmann Klaus von Eisenberg was posthumously promoted to major. His daughters survived the war. Private Merrick Callahan was awarded the Bronze Star. He never claimed it. The prophecy gun. Built for tomorrow, used today, remembered forever. Someone always pays.